fellow Trek Chatters, I'm Pit Trekkie and welcome to another episode of Pittsburgh's Trek Chat. Well, the moment that we have been waiting 18 months for has finally come. Star Trek Picard has finally aired its very first episode. And boy, CBS, you finally got it right. What a great show. What a great way to reintroduce Captain Picard back to the audience. Set up a new story. And start introducing what seem to be some pretty interesting character plots and characters. So this is the review for the first episode, Remembrance. So basically, basic synopsis of the episode is Captain Picard is now living retired. He's at Chateau Picard in France. He has this interview with the Federation News Service talking about his role in trying to save the Romulans from the supernova that destroyed Romulus. And then the synths attacking Mars. He became very upset when she started asking questions about the synths and data and all of that. So then the very next day, or maybe the same day, he meets this strange woman. She comes, Daj. She comes and says that she feels safe with him after an attack by some group of people at the time she didn't know, or anybody knew who they were. So she said that she wanted to seek safety with him. But I believe she felt that she would put him at risk for safety, so she ended up leaving. She tried contacting her mother, and her mother automatically knew who Picard was and brought Picard up, even though Daj never said that she went to Picard. So then she manages to find him at the Starfleet Museum, where he's starting to go through some of the old paintings that Data had done. And he saw a picture that was named Daughter, and it had Daj's face on it. So he starts to believe that she's the daughter of Data. So Daj finally finds him at the museum. They're talking about this. She doesn't seem to be really convinced, but he says that she's something truly unique and special. What ends up happening is those assassins come back and take her out, unfortunately. Picard goes back to his village and realizes that he feels like he hasn't been living in the last number of years, just kind of wallowing in self-pity. And just being angry at the Federation. So now he's got a sense of purpose. He wants to find out the whole mystery of who Daj is. So he goes to the Daystrom Institute. He talks to Dr. Agnes Girardi. They talk a little bit about Bruce Maddox and what they were working on in terms of trying to create new synthetic androids. That's where the synths had come from. And sounds like he feels that Daj has some sort of connection with Data. And I believe he feels that she is a flesh and blood android that was made. And Dr. Girardi made the comment about some sort of positronic neuron cloning or something to that effect. And Captain Picard feels that maybe there's an essence of Data that's still alive. She also says that that they were made in twins, that they came in twins. So then we see Soji at this Romulan base, which turns out to be a Borg Cube. So very interesting story plots for what's coming up. We have 9 more episodes to go. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to be coming. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I really liked about the episode. I love that the episode started with Blue Skies being sung. I think that was the perfect way to bridge the very end of Nemesis when B4 was starting to sing Blue Skies, and then they played the Blue Skies tune at the end while Picard's walking down the corridor. And that was the last time we even saw Picard. So it tied it in to when Picard was in that holographic 10 forward. Or actually, no, it wasn't a holographic 10 forward. It was a dream. It was a dream that he was having. And just kind of piecing all that together. I thought that was a nice touch. I love the new dog that he has. I mean, he couldn't have named it anything better than number 1. I mean, it's just too perfect. That's his constant companion. There's total loyalty there. He even said to Daj at one point in the episode that if number 1 considered her a threat, he would have attacked by that point. So he's fiercely loyal. All right. I'm looking forward to I love the new Romulan staff that he has. I think I wrote their names here, Laris and Zaban. I love that they don't look like your typical Romulans. What I'm really enjoying right now with these Romulans, they don't have those stupid bowl cuts that every single Vulcan and every single Romulan had during the series. She actually has a different kind of looking hair. I actually saw somebody on Twitter compared her to the Romulan commander from the Enterprise incident. That would be neat if somehow they tied those together. But I love the hair. I love that they seem, I guess they're married because they had wedding rings on. So I was really surprised that, I guess they've adopted some human customs. If you also notice that, I believe it's Zahban, I believe it's the guy. Well, the guy anyway, you can tell he's kind of got a hint of that V-shaped brow that the Romulans had during the Next Generation era. It's very subtle, but it's there. So that's a nice little bit touch of continuity there. I think the special effects in this episode were absolutely outstanding. I mean, that is one of the few things I've liked about Discovery are the level of special effects that they've given, and they really gave it their all with Picard as well, with the holographic ships and that hologram index and the replicators. The beginning of the episode where they showed the Enterprise D out flying in space with that nebula or whatever. I mean, top-notch effects. And I'm hoping that that's going to continue through the series. I don't want to see it get cheapened in any way, because it really looked amazing. All right. I like that Picard, after he retired, he came back to the family winery. I think some people have said online that they feel that Picard would never have done that. He would have left Starfleet. Well, if he did leave Starfleet for no matter what the reason is, we understand why he did, because he felt that Starfleet turned their backs on the Romulans and saving them after the synth attack on Mars. All right, but where would he go? Where would he seriously go? I mean, of any other place that he was connected to, obviously it was the Enterprise, but then he would have been connected to his home. Okay, I can't imagine that he would go anywhere else after retirement. That's just me, but I think that that's just what I think Picard would have done. I also love this. I really love that we got to see the Daystrom Institute. It has always been mentioned. It's been on Deep Space Nine. It's been mentioned on Voyager. I'm sure it got mentioned in Next Gen. I can't quite remember, but I think it did. We never really knew where it was at, but now we finally got to not only see where it's at, but actually go inside it. And it was really cool to see B4 was actually in there. I was hoping that we'd see B4 in this show somewhere. You know, even though he's dismantled and everything, I'm glad that we actually got a chance to see him, and then we had that connection from Nemesis. Very nice. I love the whole thing with the Federation News Network, that whole interview. The lady who played the reporter did an outstanding job, kind of playing that hardcore, you know, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to be ambitious kind of reporter. You know, wasn't easing down or dumbing things down. She went and confronted on what she wanted to confront. Yes, it ticked off Picard, and it made us feel bad for Picard, but that's what journalists do. They're there to ask the tough questions, and I think that she did a really good job with it. The actress was stunning. Let's see, another thing I really enjoyed were the graphics. I didn't see a whole lot of like computerized technology per se, but if you look on top, the panel on the replicator, and then a couple other little places throughout, I think it's the Starfleet Museum, the old Okudagram graphics from the Next Generation are there, although slightly updated. And my brother and I were talking about that because it was really cool. We were hoping that there would be some sort of continuity with the technology, and it looked it. It really was cool to see that. Another thing I'm really liking is about this Bruce Maddox. So it sounds like we're going to have a little mystery going on. Where is Bruce Maddox? What is he working on? Why did he disappear? You know, did he wherever he went, did he end up being successful with a positronic brain? It's going to be very interesting to see. I can't wait to see him, because I guarantee you he's coming back one way or another. They wouldn't have made such a big deal about him early on in the show if he wasn't coming back. All right. The only thing I didn't like about the episode, and this is kind of nitpicky, and I think it will eventually get an explanation for it, that it was during the second fight with the assassins, and Dodge knocked down that one Romulan assassin, and it looked like he had green blood in his mouth, and he spit it at her, and then she disintegrated and blew up, and then he disintegrated. So obviously Romulan blood has never been acidic or explosive in any way to our knowledge. My guess is that's not blood. unless there's some sort of genetic enhancement or something going on. But I can't see that it's any. I would hope to think that the writers are intelligent enough and know their Star Trek enough to know that Romulan blood doesn't do that. So I'm sure there's going to be an explanation. But that was the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way at first. But I mean, if that's the only problem that really happened in the show for me, then I think we're off to a good start. So some questions coming up here for the next episode, for episode 2. So at the beginning of the episode, we saw Data playing the card game with Picard, and he had 5 queens. What does that mean? Okay, stirring on the internet, we have some people thinking that Daj and Soji, there might be 3 other copies of them, or 3 other androids. They're also thinking maybe that's a clue that Q is going to come back somehow. I mean, I don't know. I can't say for certain, but I mean, it would be interesting. But I'm sure there's something there about that. The Romulan staff, how did they get involved with Picard for the last, I think it was 10 years that they said? Obviously, they were part of the armada of Romulans that he had rescued, so they were probably thankful to him for everything he's ever done. And they kind of both made the comments in the episode, be the captain that we know you can be, who you have been. I just would love to get a backstory on them. I just was instantly drawn to those characters. So they're different looking Romulans, and never usually see Romulans that are that friendly. To a human. So I'm interested in just kind of learning more a little bit about them. Who are Daj and Soji's parents? Is it Bruce Maddox, the lady that Daj thought was her mother? Who is she? Like, what role does she play in this? Obviously, they're not biologically human. Okay, so how are they involved? I mean, is there even a father involved who's not Bruce Maddox? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see. Where did the Romulans get that Borg Cube from? That is going to be really interesting to see. How did the Romulans manage to catch a Borg Cube? Okay, that's really something that's kind of mind-boggling out there. It's like, how on earth did they manage this? So we're going to be, I'm sure, finding out in the next couple of episodes. And I want to see what they're doing in that Borg Cube, or the Romulan Reclamation Center. Very curious. How much of Dr. Girardi's help did Maddox get in creating Daj and Soji? I'm curious to see if she knows a little bit more about this than she's letting on. She could be under orders not to say anything, or maybe she's just trying to distance herself from the whole thing. I don't know. But I'm sure there's more to that story. So, and we obviously know that Dr. Girardi is going to be joining Picard's ragtag team. Okay? So I'm curious about her. And I love that character, by the way. I think Alison Pill did a wonderful job playing the character. I got a little bit of a crush on her already. I just think she's a really nice character. She's smart. She's got a lot to say about these characters. And I just can't wait to see where she goes in terms of her development. Where are the synths? Okay, did they catch them all? Did they shut them all down? Is there still a faction of them out there? I didn't really understand exactly what had happened, so maybe that's more that we'll find out as the time goes on. Who are the Romulan assassins working for? Okay, obviously they had a fear of Daj. They tried to kidnap her, they tried to shut her down, and then they were like, she's activating, she's activating. So what is it about Daj that makes them so scared that they were willing to come and kill her for this? So those will be some interesting answers. And then, of course, will we see Bruce Maddox again? I already brought that up, but I think definitely we're going to see him again, without a doubt. I can't imagine that they're going to bring him up this much just so that nothing can happen with it and he just gets dropped. Okay? So overall, my assessment of this episode is that it was absolutely amazing. I was really scared with how they messed up with continuity and Discovery, that they were just going to be real sloppy and not care the way they did this episode. But it was lovingly done. It had the perfect mix of Next Generation nostalgia with a mix of an all-new flavor. I mean, we're getting a new Captain Picard now. Captain Picard who's now angry with Starfleet and disillusioned. When he gets this crew together, he's not even going to be on a Federation starship. They're going to be on some sort of, who knows, some sort of freighter or rogue craft or whatever. And it's, so we got the nice little mix. I loved it. I'm not going to deny it. On my second watch, when I watched the opening credits, which are beautiful, by the way, and I love the song. I choked up when the Ressigan flute played a little bit of the Next Generation theme at the end. Just that it brought it all back here. I mean, that's my crew, that's my captain, you know. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of Captain Picard. So what are your thoughts about Episode 1, Remembrance? On my personal warp factor scale, from warp factor 0 to warp 10, I would give it a warp 9.3. I think it was just a wonderful episode all the way around. So let me know what you guys think of the episode. You know, what are your thoughts on Remembrance? The good, the bad, the in-between. What are your thoughts on the next episode that's going to be coming out? I really want to hear what you all have to say. Please put your comments down below in the comments section. Please subscribe to the channel and then hit the bell so you can see when more information is coming for future episodes. Obviously on YouTube, just go and type in Pittsburgh's Trek Chat in the search engine and it'll take you right to my channel. You can also follow the show on www.facebook.com/PGHTrekChat. You can also go on Twitter at PGHTrekChat. I'm looking forward to going on this journey regarding Captain Picard with all of you. And until the next episode, may you live long and prosper.